Welcome back to the MLG Winter Championships. I'm JP McDaniel.
And I'm Rob Simpson, and we are moving into Game 2 between Violet and EGHuk. We just saw Violet take such a convincing game number 1.
Yeah, you know, after EGHuk just put on so much pressure there and fell back. So great stuff coming out of Violet. Now we're going to MLG Antigua Shipyard here for the second map. And as that's loading up, let's go ahead and make some noise. You guys are getting actually, you're quieter than Halo in the fighting game streams right now. So you guys better make some noise here as we introduce some players. Rob, take it away.
So over here on the right side of the map, playing for Team Evil Geniuses, he is 0-1 in the series. He needs to win this to take this back. Cheer for him if you want him to win. Let's hear it for EGHuk. And his opponent currently has the lead, spawning in as the Blue Zerg reppin' Team EmpireViolet. I mean, clearly, there's a lot of people out there that want to see EGHuk take this.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. It looks like EGHuk going once again for that Forge Fast Expand. Now, he chose this map. Blizzard does pick the maps here at MLG. So I got to think that maybe he has something in store for Violet. We'll have to really see, though. And Violet, you know, he can just do the same thing. Go for that 15 pull, go for that 3 hatch opening here on Antigua, because it is so easily accessible to take that third base very quickly. And probably just do more of the same. We'll probably see more fights at the third base to really start off the match.
Right, and really the way that expanding works on this map, you actually just kind of have your own quadrant, and they are cross positions.
Right.
So he's not going to have to worry too much about very many sneaky things. I know we've got EGHuk getting up here, getting some information from Violet, although clearly this early, and because Violet's not doing anything sneaky, he's just not going to be finding out. And Violet, I really like the spawning pool before the hatchery.
Yeah, a little bit earlier they're going for the 14 pull instead of the 15 pull. We'll definitely be seeing that hatch in just a little bit. Yeah. Meanwhile, EGHuk looking like he is going for that Nexus right at 15 Nexus first, like we saw last game.
Because he knows that he doesn't have anything to worry about. He gets over there, he scouts that spawning pool. He's pretty much just going to figure that Violet's getting out there for an expansion. And now what I love so much about landing that spawning pool. Oh, man, EGHuk gets in for the block. Can he keep it up?
He might just send the drone over to the third base there. The probe can be very annoying, especially EGHuk's probe. Pylon going down. And will Violet just send the drone over to the third base? Looks like no, he's going to chip away for just a little bit. Oh, the probe actually very close to dying here, but the shields are regenerating very, very quickly. So Ling's about to pop, and that probe and pylon will be cleaned up in probably about 30 or 40 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Now EGHuk leaves that pylon there. Now, that's one of the strengths of going for that spawning pool first, because you can make a round of 2 larvae worth of lings, so you get 4 lings out there, and your queen comes out at just about the same time. Now, generally, even if you finish that hatchery on time, you get just about the same production out of having the queen out anyway.
Absolutely. So the pylon falls. The hatchery should get started there right away, as we do see that. And once again, expect a third hatchery. I would suspect around 30 supply. Meanwhile, over in Camp EGHuk, we see him adding on his first, and so actually, no, he will just send that probe back over, not making a second guess right away. The pylon is done, or excuse me, the Nexus is done over at the natural. Has not transferred over any probe just yet, though.
Taking a little bit of the safer route, just in case there could potentially be a lot of lings. Maybe it would leave them just a little vulnerable. And that could mean that potentially Violet's going to be able to get around here. There aren't a lot of probes to block him, although with that cannon there, oh yeah, there's absolutely nothing vulnerable there. The cannon's going to be able to reach those lings as they poke. Yeah,
the reason that not so many probes were, of course, transferred over was that you only really can mine right from these 3 minerals without facing any threat from some lings here. That cannon can only cover so much space. But here's the third hatch coming down for Violet. And we will have to see really what EGHuk has in store here. Really go for that huge 8-gate, kind of not all in, but that huge 8-gate aggressive maneuvers, or really just go for something tech-based like Blink Stalkers or like some Stargate play.
Now, so far, Violet has really done a good job just kind of playing his own game, right? He hasn't really had to deal with anything that EGHuk's doing. He's going for a build that enables him to just respond to whatever Huk is doing, and that's kind of how Violet likes to play this matchup. He likes to play a little bit reactive and just make sure that he's ready for any curveballs that can be thrown at him, Huk being the sneaky player that he is.
Yeah, Zergs in general can just play so reactive like you were mentioning in this matchup. Because of that 3-hatch opening, you can just simply drone, get up a couple of defenses. We do have this pylon over here from Huk, thinking maybe he's going to hide some tech, or this might just be a forward pylon for warping down onto the low ground.
That's right. Adebisi, the super observer, huge shout out to him.
That is true. It is so nice to have our own little observer here on the main stream. Really, really awesome to have that here, so we cannot thank Adebisi enough for coming on. And we actually see only 5 gates right now for Huk, so really be adding on a Twilight Council here, or really just continue to maybe not play so aggressive.
Well, he's throwing down a forward pylon over there, but I'm not sure how much he's going to end up pushing out. I mean, he's certainly going to tell us soon enough. Now, Violet, on the other hand, doing pretty much the exact same thing as last game, getting down his Roach Warren as soon as he gets right around that 40-ish drone mark so that he can have answers. He knows Protoss timing, so he knows exactly when he needs to have those units.
He's already up to only 40 drones right now. Huk actually eclipsing him in the drones, but a lot of Lings coming out here. Maybe a little bit fearful once again of a huge attack coming from Huk, and that might be why Huk really threw down so many of these pylons to kind of psych his opponent out.
And now, I mean, he's really just trying to keep Violet distracted at this point. And now Violet has built a lot of Zerglings. If he's able to get out and kill all of the pylons, it could potentially prematurely stop all of this aggression. And now Huk is getting a warp in down here at the 3rd, and now that's just too many Zealots for those Lings to deal with right now.
Yeah, +1 finish. Looks like that was what Huk was waiting for, as well as some additional warp-ins here in just a couple of seconds. Pulling back once more, and warp gate should be coming in. There we go, some more warp-ins with those Zealots. He's going to try to take out the 3rd. Meanwhile, there are some Lings over in Huk's natural, but they get easily chased out. As we go back over into the 3rd of Violet, there's a lot of stuff here from Violet. I'm not sure how successful Huk's going to be with this attack.
Well, now this is looking all too familiar, because in the previous game we saw Huk warp in just enough Zealots to take out that hatchery, although it seems that this time Violet could be a little bit better prepared, and now Huk just doesn't have the same jump that he did in the previous game, and he just has a large chunk of roaches, meaning he's able to kite down those Zealots one by one. He's actually just able to take the hits and clean up that attack.
He does get the Queen, and that will be somewhat of a nuisance to Violet. He's going to have to rebuild that to go back into full-on macro mode. Meanwhile, though, we see some tech coming out of Huk over here with the Twilight Council, and we'll see if he's going to go for something like DPs or just go for something like Blink.
Right, now Violet's not actually worried about anything that's happening. He got enough units out on the field to stop Huk's aggression, and then followed up just by building another huge round of drones and then finishing up his lair.
Some Lings coming in, and you know, he hasn't started Blink just yet. I think we might see a Dark Shrine started here in just a couple of seconds. A lot of roaches, though, moving cross map. Still looking for that tech, another gateway for Huk still. Okay, there's Blink being started. He still has a lot of gas, though. And Violet's just kind of sitting right outside, making sure that a 3rd base can't be taken. And meanwhile, back at home, we see him getting a ton of tech, missile attacks +1, roach speed, as well as burrow.
Right, and now I think that Violet's going to be going for a pretty big +1 time in here as he waits for that to finish. Oh man, and some beautiful force fields being laid down by Violet, by Huk, able to clean up all of Violet's forces.
We also see 3 more gateways, so a huge Blink Stalker attack coming out from Team Evil Genius's Huk here in just a couple of minutes. But 12 roaches was being built there for Violet right away after losing that, as well as a robotics facility, so we will be able to get that observer out, as well as some Immortals to just help so much in this upcoming fight.
And the Immortals are going to be what he needs moving into this, because Violet has very much committed to a huge roach aggression.
Some Lings here still in the center, and also a Ling over at the 3rd base. A probe going in there to drop a pylon, and looks like Huk is going to be able to bring in his Stalkers and clear that off. That probe will not die. It was on hold position, actually, that Ling. So 3rd base should get started here for Huk as soon as he gets the minerals for it.
Now, I don't know if Huk is going to worry so much about getting that 3rd base, and we saw him opt to go for another huge round of Stalkers right after he saw that the Zergling saw that the Nexus was going to be placed there, and now Blink is done, and so you can bet that we're going to see Huk execute some, oh yes, that forward Blink out onto the roaches, although +1 has finished on the roaches, and now he's in a face-to-face fight. The force fields are laid down, and half of Violet's force is useless.
Yeah, he did not have that burrowed roach movement, though, but 20 more roaches in production now but HUK is still going across the map. He hasn't even show, or he did show Blink actually with that retreat from Violet. A huge warp in here with the forward pylon. +2 about to finish there, and that's going to be huge for this attack coming out of HUK.
Oh man, and HUK saw this beautiful window of opportunity. He knows that Violet thought that he was going to place down the Nexus, and he has pretty much just changed into full aggression with this push. He sees a window of opportunity, and Violet is going to have a difficult time holding this off. We see the Blink micro from HUK. Oh no, but the sentries are going down left and right. Fortunately, they've been able to throw down their force fields. And HUK is continuing with the Blink micro, and now Violet is being bashed back into his base.
Got 12 more roaches on the way. There's the bro to go ahead and get those roaches back up to full HP. A ton more Stalkers here being warped in. 117 supply to 140. Pure Stalkers here in this army from HUK, +2 finish. And here he goes once again. As some more roaches coming out, he's going to utilize Blink, of course, to get away. But no force fields are really going to make this troublesome for HUK.
Only a little bit, because man, when you get HUK and his top 3 control and some Blink Stalkers, you can win anything.
And he's pushing forward here with the roaches. Ton more Stalkers being warped in. And I think that army should be taken out there from Violet. He does burrow at the last second. A lot more forces here being warped in, but like you said, the supplies are dwindling forward. Violet 115 to 105. And getting even lower. GG, we're going to game 3 here as HUK takes it back.
Man, so HUK making an impressive play that game. We saw Violet get up there with his Zergling for a split second, and he was blocking that third for a little bit. Now, when he saw HUK move the Stalkers up to make Violet think that he was placing the third, he didn't do it.
Yeah, and actually it was still sitting there at the end of the game, so great stuff coming out of HUK there, really utilizing that. Now, I think Day9 and DJ Weed are actually standing by. What did you guys think of that last match?
Well, I think it's really the example of how HUK's aggression needs good follow-ups. You know, when you saw that 6 Zealot warping at the start, it looked like Violet was going to easily hold it off, but we saw HUK was actually ahead by 10 workers. Violet only had 35, HUK had 45. So I think that the aggression follow-up from HUK was very clever. Violet was actually a little bit too committed to trying to rebuild drones for too long a time.
Yeah, I mean, Violet had a great game 1, but actually that game 2 is kind of more of what I expected to see in game 1 out of HUK. So, you know, whether or not it was just him trying to figure out exactly what he needed to do versus his opponent Violet, just some key battles there. He had a couple of situations there where he ran out of energy on force fields. It was starting to get a little nasty at the third, but I think he already had a unit advantage at that point. Once those upgrades hit, those roaches just got demolished.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So guys, we got a quick commercial break here. Then we go on to game 3. We'll be right back here for the MLG Winter Championships. See you then.